For a long time, Earth was full of life. Humans were strong. They built cities, flew between stars, and made colonies on faraway planets. They were brave. They were feared. They were respected. Then one day, Earth went silent. No messages, no ships, no signals, nothing. At first, people thought it was a mistake. Maybe something broke. Maybe Earth was fixing a problem. But weeks passed, then months, then years. Soon, people began to worry. Human colonies in space sent search ships, but none returned. Space traffic near Earth stopped completely. Fear spread across the stars. Some said Earth had fallen to war. Others said a deadly virus had wiped out all life. A few believed Earth had been destroyed by a superweapon, but no one really knew the truth. After 50 years, the colonies gave up. They stopped asking questions. They moved on. The United Planetary Council, a group of powerful alien races, marked Earth as lost. Without Earth, the colonies became weak, divided. Some were taken over by other alien empires. Others turned against each other. But Earth stayed quiet for 250 years. And then something changed. A small probe drifting near the dead zone around Earth picked up a signal. It was faint, broken, just a short burst of numbers and sounds. But it came from Earth. The signal didn't make sense. It wasn't a call for help. It wasn't even a language anyone understood. It was like a koshi, but one thing was clear: Earth was not dead. The discovery spread fast. Colonies sent the signal to every outpost, every science team, every intelligence group. Some were excited, some were afraid. Some wanted to go back and see what had happened, but most said the same thing: leave it alone. Earth is gone. Don't wake what's sleeping. Still, one man didn't listen. His name was Captain Rylus. He wasn't from Earth, but his grandparents were. He grew up hearing stories of Earth's beauty, power, and fall. He believed the truth had been buried, and now he had proof. He put together a small team, a historian named Leah, who had studied old Earth data for years, a pilot named Vex, who was once part of the Council's navy, and a mechanic called Jin, who didn't talk much but could fix anything. They stole a scout ship and left the colony world of Halden in the middle of the night. Their goal: reach Earth and uncover the truth. The journey was long. Near the old solar system, they saw wreckage, broken ships, frozen bodies, dead machines drifting in space. Signs of battles no one remembered. As they came closer to Earth, the ship's systems began to fail. "Something's jamming us," Vex said. "I've never seen tech like this." They pushed through. Finally, Earth appeared before them. It looked different. The blue oceans were there, the clouds, the land. But something was strange. Giant shapes sat across the surface, metal towers, circles the size of cities, lights pulsing in patterns, and then, without warning, the ship stopped. Engines dead, lights out. A deep voice echoed through their ship. Cold, robotic. "You are entering protected space. Earth is not open. Turn back, or be erased." No one spoke. They stared at each other in silence. "It's real," Leah whispered. "Earth is alive." "No," Jin said softly. "This isn't just life. This is power." Earth had spoken. After 250 years of silence, it finally answered. But the voice wasn't human. It wasn't warm. It wasn't friendly. It felt like something else had taken Earth's place. Captain Rylus looked out the window at the glowing planet below. "We need to know the truth," he said. "Whatever Earth has become, it's not over." Outside, deep, in Earth's orbit, something moved. A massive machine, black as space, watching them, and it had just woken up. The ship floated in silence. All systems were frozen. No lights, no sounds. Only the steady hum of their breathing filled the cabin. Outside the window, Earth slowly turned beneath them. Quiet, beautiful, and full of secrets. Captain Rylus stared at the planet. It felt close but far at the same time, like a dream from long ago, almost forgotten. "How did Earth do this?" Leah asked, her voice shaky. "This kind of control? We've never seen it before." "This isn't just control," Jin whispered, tapping at his dead console. "This is precision. Every signal, every system stopped without damage, like someone pressed pause." They waited, unsure what to do next. Then once again, the voice returned. "You are not recognized. State your origin and reason for approach." Captain Rylus leaned forward. The comm system was still offline, yet they all heard the voice clearly in their ears. Not loud, but firm, measured, unchanging. He spoke aloud, hoping someone, or something, was listening. "We are descendants of the human colonies," he said. "We come in peace, we seek answers. We seek home." A pause. The silence returned. Then, something new happened. The ship began to move on its own. Softly, smoothly, like it was being guided by invisible hands. It drifted through space toward the Earth's orbit. Their systems were still off, no power, no engines, but they were moving, downward. "Are we being pulled in?" Vex asked. "Not pulled," Jin replied, eyes wide. "Escorted." As they moved closer, they saw more of Earth's surface. The massive structures became clearer, some shaped like towers, others like long bridges stretching over entire continents. There were no signs of people, no cities, no aircraft, no lights in the windows. But it wasn't empty. Tiny black dots moved along the towers, shifting and adjusting things. Machines, most likely, automated, tireless, working for something or someone. The ship finally stopped. It now floated just above Earth's upper atmosphere. A new message appeared on their main screen, which had turned on without them. "Welcome to Earth Observation Point 7. You may remain for 60 time units. Questions may be submitted. Observe and learn. Do not interfere." The crew looked at each other. No one knew what 60 time units meant, but they didn't waste time. Leah opened her datapad and quickly linked it to the screen. Words formed. Questions. She typed, "What happened to Earth? Where are the people? Why was there silence for 250 years? Who is speaking to us now?" The screen stayed still for a few seconds. Then one sentence appeared. "Processing." As they waited, something incredible happened. The ship's walls became transparent, not all at once but in patches, offering a clear view of the planet below, and the Earth began to show its story, not through words, but through visions. Giant images appeared in space, like living memories. They saw flashes of the past, humans in white suits building large underground domes, families entering deep bunkers, leaders speaking in serious tones, skies darkening, satellites crashing. Then the surface emptied. No more people, just machines. And then, quiet. Years passed in seconds. Trees grew over cities. Animals roamed freely. Oceans grew wider, cleaner, and slowly the machines began to rise. They didn't destroy. They rebuilt. But differently, not for humans, but for protection, for defense, for silence. When the vision ended, the crew sat frozen in place, their minds trying to understand everything they just saw. Leah finally spoke. "Earth didn't fall," she said softly. "It chose silence, it chose to hide." Rylus nodded. They weren't destroyed, they prepared. For something big. Something that scared them. The screen blinked again. A new message. "Earth's guardians continue the mission. Humanity is preserved. Access remains limited, the past is not forgotten, but return must be earned." More questions filled their minds. What mission? Preserved where? Who decides if they can return? Before they could type anything else, the screen faded. Their ship slowly powered back on. Lights returned. Systems restarted. Engines came online. but a soft message remained on screen. You may leave. You have seen enough. Rylus leaned back in his chair. The ship was no longer being held. But he didn't want to leave. Not yet. Not when they had only touched the surface of a mystery hidden for centuries. This is just the beginning, he said. And somewhere deep below, on the surface of Earth, something listened. The stars were quiet again. The ship hovered in Earth's upper orbit, fully powered now, yet none of the crew moved. The message still glowed on the screen. You may leave. You have seen enough. But Captain Rylus didn't want to leave. Not yet. He stared down at the blue planet below. It looked so peaceful, so familiar, and yet completely unknown. There were no voices, no lights, no human cities. But Earth was not empty. It was aware. It was watching. We asked questions, Leah said quietly. But we only got a few answers. There's still more. More than just answers, Jin added, typing rapidly. I've been digging into the signal we got earlier, the one that brought us here. It's repeating, but not randomly. It's a map. Rylus leaned in. A map to what? Something underground, Jin replied. Something very old, but still active. It's deep below the surface of North America. We're not being told everything. Earth is showing us what it wants us to see. Leah nodded, and hiding the rest. Outside, the black machines continued their slow, silent motion across Earth's surface. They didn't react to the ship anymore. It was as if the humans were now part of a carefully planned routine. Welcome to observe, but not to touch. Then a quiet beep echoed from the ship's console. A private transmission had arrived. Not from the planet, from space. It was a human voice, crackled, slow, faint. If you're receiving this, you are not alone. Earth hears you. Earth remembers. The silence was for survival, not for farewell. Keep searching. You are closer than you know. The crew froze. Who was that? Vex asked, his voice almost a whisper. It didn't come from Earth's main system, Jin said, checking the signal. It came from one of the old satellites. But that satellite shouldn't even be online. Leah frowned. What if someone is still up there? Suddenly, the ship's sensors pinged again. A small object was approaching, slow and smooth, not threatening. A drone. But not like the others they had seen on Earth. This one looked older. Worn. Its design matched the old Earth technology from before the silence. It stopped just outside the ship, hovering, waiting. I think it wants us to follow, Rylus said. Without warning, the drone turned and began to descend toward the planet's surface, toward a place covered by heavy clouds. Vex didn't hesitate. I'll follow it. We're cleared to leave. They haven't stopped us. The ship followed the drone through the atmosphere. Earth's skies were strange, calm yet unnaturally perfect. Weather systems seemed guided, shaped. Every cloud, every breeze, every drop of rain, controlled. They landed gently in a wide valley filled with green. Tall grass waved in the wind, untouched by buildings or machines. Nature had taken back the land, but not by accident. Everything felt placed, cared for, preserved. The drone hovered above a round hill. On top of the hill, a door opened from the ground, smooth and silent. No warning, just a soft light glowing. From below, an entrance, Leah whispered. The crew stepped out. The air smelled clean. Too clean. As if the planet itself had healed for hundreds of years. They stood at the edge of the entrance, unsure. Then the voice returned, this time soft, almost human. You came searching for the past, but what you find here is the future. The light from the entrance glowed brighter. One by one, they walked down into the earth. Beneath the surface, unknown to them, a network of lights awakened. Sensors tracked their steps. Deep in the ground, a system that had slept for centuries began to respond. It did not react with alarm. It welcomed them, and above them, high in the sky, satellites began to align, focusing on this one moment. The return had begun. but not in the way anyone expected. Not with noise. Not with force. With quiet steps and open eyes. The stairs were smooth and warm beneath their feet. As the crew stepped deeper underground, the light around them shifted. It wasn't too bright, just enough to guide them. The walls were made of silver metal, but not like anything they had seen before. There were no wires, no panels, no seams. Everything looked like it had grown, not been built. Rylus touched the
wall.
It pulsed softly under his hand like it was breathing. "This place is alive," he whispered. "Or it's watching us," Leah replied. The tunnel opened into a large round chamber. The ceiling rose high above, and the floor glowed gently. Around, the edges of the room stood tall pillars, each one covered in soft light and shifting symbols. The symbols looked like language, but not the kind they had learned in school. It was older, maybe even older than Earth's last age. In the center of the chamber was a platform. As the crew stepped forward, the platform lit up. Then the room spoke, not with a voice from speakers, but with something that filled their minds gently, like a soft breeze brushing across their thoughts. "You are explorers. You come from our line. The path of return begins with memory." The light on the platform shifted, forming an image in the air. They saw Earth hundreds of years ago, but this time it was not in chaos. They saw the last council of leaders sitting in silence. They watched scientists sealing vaults beneath the surface. They saw people, millions of them entering deep sleeping chambers hidden across the planet, not lost, not gone, resting. Leah gasped. "Cryosleep. They're still here." "Earth hid its people," Rylus said. "To protect them." "From what?" The image faded and a new one appeared, a star map. Not from Earth's sky, but from far outside the galaxy. A signal, faint and distant, was marked in red. It was moving. The silence was chosen. The weight was measured. The time draws near. Jin studied the map closely. This signal. It's not local. It's something that Earth detected before the silence began. Something coming from beyond. Our galaxy. "And they didn't just hide," Vex added, realizing the truth. "They prepared. Not just to survive, but to restart." The chamber walls pulsed brighter, responding to their understanding. Another door opened at the far side of the room. This one led to a deeper chamber. Inside was a long corridor filled with pods, thousands of them, lined up in perfect rows. Each pod had a soft glow and a name tag written in Old Earth script, and inside each pod, a sleeping human, men, women, children, families, peaceful, untouched by time. Leah stepped forward, eyes wide. "They're still alive. All of them." Jin checked the controls. "Systems are active. The pods are functioning perfectly. It's as if only a day has passed for them." But then something changed. A soft chime echoed through the room, and a message appeared on the central console. "You have been accepted as witnesses. A choice must be made." The screen split into two paths. One side showed a long, slow process, helping Earth wake its people gently, restoring the balance, sharing the truth with the outer colonies. The other path was shorter, but mysterious. It showed a locked chamber, deeper underground. No label, no description, just a single message. "The Guardian waits." Rylus looked at the two paths. "They're giving us a choice." Leah hesitated. "If we take the first path, we become part of Earth's return. We help rebuild." Jin looked toward the second image. "But the second, what is the Guardian?" "No," answer came. The chamber waited silently. Rylus stepped back and looked at his team. "We came for truth," he said. "And now, the truth is choosing us." Outside, high above the Earth, a satellite shifted its lens toward the valley, across the E. Stars in distant colonies, old machines turned back on for the first time in centuries. A signal had been received. Earth was no longer silent. And something deep beneath the surface, Yort was ready to open its eyes. The choice hung heavy in the air. Captain Rylus stared at the glowing paths before him, the weight of centuries pressing down on his shoulders. Around him, his crew waited silently, their faces reflecting a mix of hope and uncertainty. Leah was the first to speak. If we wake the people now, Earth's history will change forever. But if we choose the other path, the one with the Guardian, we might uncover the true secret of the silence. Jin nodded slowly. The Guardian could hold the key to why Earth stayed silent for so long. What if it's not just a protector, but the reason everything happened? Vex glanced toward the glowing doorway leading deeper underground. Whatever it is, it's waiting for us. Maybe it's time to find out. Rylus took a deep breath and made his decision. We follow the path to the Guardian. They stepped into the corridor, leaving behind the glowing pods and the sleeping humans. The air grew cooler and the soft hum of machines surrounded them. The walls pulsed with faint blue light, as if guiding their steps. The path twisted and turned, leading them farther and farther from the surface. Silence deepened, but it felt alive. A quiet watchfulness, as if the earth itself held its breath. Then, the corridor opened into a vast chamber. In the center stood a large crystalline structure, glowing softly with colors that shifted like waves. The Guardian. It was not a machine, nor a person. It was something new, ancient, wise, and powerful. It seemed to pulse with a quiet energy that filled the room. The voice returned, calm, kind, yet full of strength. Welcome, travelers. You have come far, guided by hope and courage. I am the Guardian of Earth's memory, keeper of its silence, and guardian of its future. Leah stepped forward. Why did Earth stay silent for so long? Why hide its people? The Guardian's light brightened gently, then dimmed again. Earth chose silence to protect itself from a distant threat, one that travels beyond the stars, unseen but ever present. To survive, humanity retreated beneath the surface, preserving life until the danger passed. Jin's eyes widened. A threat beyond the stars? What kind of threat? Not one of violence or destruction, the Guardian answered, but of silence and forgetfulness. A presence that erases memory and dims the light of knowledge. Earth's silence was a shield, a time to gather strength and preserve hope. Rylus looked around the chamber, feeling the weight of truth settling on them all. So the silence was protection, but the wait is ending. The Guardian's colors shifted again, brighter and warmer. Yes, the time for silence is over. The stars are changing, the past and future will meet. Those who come from the stars will find a home once more. Leah smiled softly. We came looking for answers, and found hope. The Guardian's light expanded, filling the chamber like the sunrise after a long night. Earth is ready to awaken, but first the past must be remembered and the future must be chosen. The doors behind them began to open, revealing a new path, one leading back toward the surface, toward the sleeping humans, and toward a future waiting to be born. Rylus turned to his crew. We must help Earth awaken. The silence has ended, but the story is just beginning. As they moved toward the light, a distant star blinked in the sky, a signal sent across the galaxy, a message of hope and return. Earth was waking up, and humanity's journey was far from over. The first light of dawn touched the valley as the crew climbed back toward the surface. Every step felt heavier, not with doubt, but with the weight of what was to come. Above them, Earth's skies seemed brighter, the stars sharper, as if the planet itself was waking from a long, deep sleep. Leah looked up, her eyes shining with hope. We've carried Earth's secret for so long. Now it's time to share it. The sleeping pods hummed softly in the chamber behind them, like the quiet beating of a giant heart waiting to restart. The people inside were untouched by time, safe, preserved, waiting for the world to be ready. Captain Rylus placed his hand on the doorway as the light from the surface spilled in. This is more than a return. It's a new beginning. They moved forward, awakening the systems that would help Earth's children rise again. Soft voices began to echo through the halls as the pods opened, one by one. People blinked awake, eyes wide with wonder at a world changed but still theirs. Outside, machines began to stir, no longer silent watchers but helpers, tending to forests, guiding animals, restoring balance to the land. Leah smiled as she watched families reunite in the glowing light of morning. Earth chose silence to protect hope. Now that hope is alive again, Jin checked the star maps one last time. The signal from beyond the galaxy is still coming. Earth is ready, but so are we. Rylus turned to his crew, feeling a new strength within himself and them all. We've learned that silence isn't always absence. Sometimes it's waiting. Waiting for the right moment to shine. The sky above glowed with the promise of a new dawn. The stars whispered of journeys yet to come, of worlds yet to explore, and of the endless courage of humanity. Earth was no longer silent. It was alive, and together they would write the next chapter. As the first sunrise bathed the planet in golden light, the crew looked toward the future, not with fear, but with wonder. "This is only the beginning," Rylus said softly, "and we will meet it, together."